What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a live edition of Cage My IQ. As always, I'm your host, Cage. Joining with me is my guy, my buddy, the Tim King, the host of the Tim King Show. How's it going, Tim? Can't hear you right now.
What an amateur move, man! I left my mic on mute during your awesome, badass entrance. I want to make sure that I didn't pop on. But dude, thank you so much for having me on the show, bro. I love you. I love Cage My IQ. Can't wait to talk some AEW with you, brother.
Hell yeah. But before we get started with that, we got something special for everybody going on tonight. I can't wait to be on tonight with you guys, but I'll let you talk about the Bloodline Entertainment Network.
Dude, huge, huge. We've been waiting. We've been talking about this like 2.5 months. We've been hyping this. Today is the day. Today is the day. The pre-launch party tonight, Saturday, March 4th, 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Central, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
I think like 6:30 Mountain Time, 6:30 California time, or 5:30 California time. It's all over the place. Just get there tonight. Bloodline Entertainment Network on YouTube. Get it. You see it right there on the screen. Just the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Get at us on Twitter. The Bloodline ENT. It says about all major social medias: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. The Bloodline ENT. And get us tonight. We'll be talking AEW like we're doing right now. We'll be introducing the network, introducing the website, talking about some of the writers on there, talking about the podcasts on there. And we'll be talking a little John Bones Jones in his return, which I know you'll be excited about. Big fight for UFC 285 tonight. So I got to be more excited to be breaking this network down tonight with my guys. I'm pumped, man. I'm glad you're going to be there. We're going to have a couple of other guests along the way tonight as well. I'm stoked. I'm really, really, really fucking excited, man. It's been a long time coming for this, and I'm pumped for it, bro. Thank you for letting me talk about it.
We got the Get Ya podcast right there. What's good? Thanks for tuning in. We got another member of the Bloodline Entertainment Network. We got Nick from the Universal Wrestling Podcast. What's up, boys? You'll be able to see him tonight, but you also see him every Wednesday on the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Give them a follow. Subscribe to their YouTube page. Some good stuff between him and Keith every Wednesday night. So check that out. But of course, we're here to preview AEW Revolution, which is tomorrow night. Of course, we've had a couple podcasts where we've talked about it. I need to get my, of course, prediction show out. I'm back. I took a month and a half off from basically going live, and here I am putting out my wrestling and MMA content. I got my 285 video already out there. I have a WrestleMania one that I have in the works with my buddy Lou Betcha. You can find him on the MMA Engine. We're going to be putting one out in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing a collaboratory episode on that. We can't wait to do that. That guy knows his shit. If you're looking to make any bets on MMA or any side bets, if you do DK, check him out at Lou Betcha. He is on Twitter, and then you can also, like I said, at MMA Engine's YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. Then we got AEW, you know it. But let's get started. Of course, we have 8 matches. They just added a pre-show match. We won't talk about that because it's on the pre-show. It's the Tony Nese. We got Daivari, and we got Josh Woods against the Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe. That's going to be a good match, but I'm just going to say the Briscoes and Lucha Brothers should easily win that match. It's a fun one. It's nice to see Mark Briscoe back in wrestling after everything that happened with his brother. He's been featured on Ring of Honor now. I feel like he's going to have a nice push. We'll get into that in the future, of course. Anybody that hasn't watched Ring of Honor, I don't want to spoil anything from Thursday, but keep an eye on Mark Briscoe on that brand. But let's get started. The first one I'll go with, I'm going to go with Jon Moxley versus Adam Hangman Page, as you see right there. We got the Texas Death Match. How do you feel about this match?
Bro, I'm pumped. This is the match I'm most excited for on the night. This is by far and away the best story that they've told As far as stories for these matches on this show goes, Mox knocks Hangman out. Hangman gets all the sympathy in the world. Mox is an asshole. Hangman knocks Mox out. Hangman's a hero for knocking Mox out. Like, what the fuck? Where's the sympathy for Mox? Mox gets the win. It's over. No, it's not over. It's still going. It's a fucking bloodbath with Evil Uno after the match. There's all this hate, all this history. I'm all in on it, man. I can't fucking wait. It's going to be a bloody fucking mess. Hangman gets the win. Hangman 110% gets the win. Mox goes and takes his vacation that he has earned long, long ago. Like fucking September of last year. He's still out here grinding, dude. Hangman gets the win, and Hangman will be the number one contender for the AEW World Championship going into Double or Nothing in May.
Before I get into mine, we got Justin chiming in. What's good, guys? Put the ones up, and he's been killing it as a guest host all this week. I feel like every day that I'm going on watching some of your guys' content, he's at least on every one as a guest star at least. I can't wait to see the Brothers of Destruction come back. I know there's a reason why they haven't, but at least we get to see them on your show and then get to see him a couple times a week as a guest host. So that's always good to see that.
Yeah, he had a big week, man. Him and Jeremy were on it with me. Then Justin did his thing on Circle of Bay. Justin just did his thing with Marcus. Big week.
Yeah, no, it's the Texas safety match. Yeah, I'll get into that. We've had this thing to talk about. This whole storyline has been the overuse of blood. And I've made the comment, like, of course, in the comment sections in the last couple of weeks, I feel like he's losing his identity because he does all these different promotions. And that's his identity in GCW. He's all about bleeding there. You got Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. You got this. He does New Japan. I feel like he's losing his identity of what his AEW side is because you don't need to bleed as much, but he bleeds all the time in Bloodsport and GCW. So I feel like he doesn't remember what the identity of who he's supposed to be in AEW. And it's kind of blushing over from one promotion to another. He doesn't need to bleed that much. Just like we've all said, there's spots that it's okay to bleed in certain scenarios, but not every week. When we're talking about him not bleeding, it being like the non-norm in the match, it's something that you have to be like, why is this happening? We don't need it all the time. But other than that, I'm going to like this match because it's two wrestlers I have fun watching week to week. Hangman Page, he was never used as much as a big character in New Japan. He comes over here. They strapped the racket on him from the get-go. I can see why he wasn't the first champion because of the Chris Jericho being the face of AEW in the beginning. But it was good to see him have that big storyline win last year over Kenny Omega. That was probably one of the best storylines AEW has ever done. And I hope they get back to that in the future. But, of course, it's 2-1 right now with Jon Moxley. I think Adam Hangman Page evens it up. I don't think they'll go into a fifth match. I think he'll just even it up. I just don't see what the point would be to have Page lose this and to lose this whole rivalry 3-1. It's only going to hurt him, whereas if Moxley loses, does it really hurt him? Not that much. I think he can go away, finally get that vacation that he wants. We've talked about this for like the last 4 months. He needs the vacation. Hangman needs to push. He could use this to be the next number one contender, or at least be soon to be number one contender to try and get that belt back because he's one of the favorites among the fans, I feel like, in AEW. And I'm going with him. You got Justin. This match is legit going to be a bloodbath. If this was on the DraftKings, it'd be like a -1,000 that there's going to be blood in this match. It's a guarantee.
Big time. And if it was on DraftKings, I guarantee Hangman would be like -600 to win the match, dude. Like he'd be a heavy favorite. Like we're not the only ones out here thinking like this.
Yeah.
There's like Hangman needs to win the match, and we'll talk about it when we get into the main event. It only makes sense for Hangman to be the number one contender going forward into the next big show. But we'll talk.
The last thing, how many finishes are we going to see? Over under 4?
What's Mox's finisher count as? I mean, what is it? Is it the Death Rider? Is it the submission, the bull choke? I mean, what does it count as? Because Mox got like 3 submissions, really.
Yeah, I'll go to Death Rider.
Oh, well, we'll see at least 4 I think we'll see at least 4 Death Riders. So if you're talking Death Rider, we'll probably see at least 4 Death Riders. We'll probably see 2 buckshots, 4 Death Riders. Mox is going to hit every submission known to man, dude. It's going to be a fun match. This is going to be like a 9-hour show, dude. Like, we got to fucking strap it in. We'll be live, Bloodline Entertainment Network on YouTube. Get there with us tomorrow night. We'll be doing a watch along. But it's going to be a long. I'm fine with it. I'm all in. I'm down. I ain't working Monday. I'm all in, baby. Let's go.
And then what is it? The Red Eye is the other one that Hangman Page has.
Yeah, he'll hit that a couple of his setup. Yeah, he'll hit that a couple of times for sure. One through the table, I'm sure. He'll hit it in the ring. Yeah.
Maybe I should have said over under 8.
Yeah, no shit. Mox is going 4 Death Riders alone.
We got Justin a picture in the ring looking like when Eddie Guerrero and JBL had it covered. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, let's get to the next match. We got the AEW World Tag Team Championship. We got the Guns, the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and then we got Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. How do you feel about this match?
It's stupid, man. It's irritating. It's bothersome. You have from the state of the AEW, and I know they're trying to build the tag team division back up, as we saw in Rampage last night with the Fatal 4-Way. Although Claudio and Yuta have no right being in the tag team division. I digress. No. This is stupid. All right. You have a story built in with the Guns and the Acclaimed. Why in the fucking world are you adding Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal? And then on top of it, Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, fine. So if it were to be Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett added to this match and you wanted to add the best friends, they actually told a story inside of that Battle Royal 2 weeks ago, all right, where I actually was like rooting hardcore for Trent to win that match. And I was like, damn, I'm rooting for the best friends. Like, not that I hate the best friends, but it's like there was all these other teams in the match that I wanted to win. At the end of the day, I was like, or maybe I dislike Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal that much that I just wanted the best friends to go over them. But we've had the beef. We've had the history with the best friends in Team Sanjay over the last few months. But that did not need to be added into the tag team title match. You had the Guns. You had the Acclaimed. Daddy Ass is right there. The tag team championship is on the fucking line. Put them in a cage. Do something special with these kids and let them fucking go to work. This is stupid. And all it's going to do is continue the feud between the Guns and the Acclaimed, probably all the way into Double or Nothing. And then that's where Daddy Ass is going to turn, because Daddy Ass ain't wasting this fucking turn to rejoin his boys in this match. This is stupid. It's a legit clown show, and I love Danhausen. I mean, no disrespect. I love Orange Cassidy. This is stupid. It should have been the fucking regular match in which the Guns should have retained with Daddy Ass's help. Guns win. Guns win.
Yeah, I picked that picture for a reason, because I don't know why Orange Cassidy and Danhausen were going to win it. Win that and be in it. That's why I perfectly chose that. I thought, just like you said, the best friends should have been in it. At least there was a storyline there with Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I thought it should have just been a one-on-one match, the rematch between the Guns and the Acclaimed. I have a feeling what's going to wind up happen is the Guns are going to win this match because of Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett somehow. And then they're going to have the rematch with the Acclaimed at the St. Patty's Day Dynamite. I feel like they're going to do something like what they did with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, where
that'd be cool.
Yeah, where Thunder Rosa lost, but then she won it at St. Patty's Day in the cage, and then that's when, that's when Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaimed and Guns with the Guns, because I think at Double or Nothing it's going to be FTR and the Guns. I think. The storyline is built. I've said this for weeks. The storyline is there because if you remember when FTR left, they lost to the Guns, and then the Guns had the whole goodbye party on Dynamite.
Yeah, the funeral.
The funeral. It's built in. It's built in. That
I love that booking, Bakley. That's give you the pencil. Give Bakley the pencil, dude. I love it. I love that booking, dude. Yeah,
and then with Billy Gunn back with the Guns. It gives them that kind of manager mouthpiece to help them out because FTR's they're so solid. They're known. They don't need anybody. They're as expected. But I think the Guns need a little bit of help on the mic, and he'll help them do that. But I've seen them get a lot better over the past year. A lot of people don't like them. I like the Guns. I think that it's that heel team that we need because we can't have all face teams. And I'm going with the Guns. And I think my son's going with the Guns too.
Good. Let's go. Let's go Team Bakley with the Guns. I love the Guns, man. I got an autographed poster in the house from them. My kid spelled the same name. My kid was, before he was born, Colton signed a picture to Colton with an E. Thought it was so cool, man. From the Guns, Billy signed it, Colton signed it, Austin signed it. We met them at a softball game. They're like legit nice dudes. They're good kids, and they've worked their butts off. You got headphones.
Yeah.
They worked their asses off to get to where they are right now, both in the ring. And you was like, oh, they've only wrestled 10 matches. Who gives a shit? Look at them. They're good. They're good in the ring, and they're good on. Yeah. They need work on the stick, but they have charisma. Like they have the character. So they can get a little bit better. And having Billy in their corner is only going to help them because, it gives them the heel manager, helps them win matches. So I love it.
Yeah, and what I've noticed, I actually went back and deep dive. Every Revolution, they've had a multi-team tag match. There's never been a one-on-one tag match. Last year, it was the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against, of course, what was it, the Young Bucks. And then Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. So,
yes.
That, and then there was a 4-way match on the Revolution before. So I'm not surprised that they're doing this because they haven't done a one-on-one tag match at the pay-per-view since it's become an exception in AEW.
They could have just put better teams in the match, though. Like, all right. So I know the Lucha Bros. Oh yeah, what up, Dom? What up? Like, I know the Lucha Bros have no interest, or like they're not involved in the story. But even if you just like added the Lucha Bros into the match because they're the fucking Lucha Bros, all right, okay, former tag team champions, cool, that's legit, all right. Or you just did the best friends, the actual best friends, Chuck and Trent. Orange, I love Orange, but no, it's silly, dude. Or even if, like I said in the first place before I said the best friends, Sting and Darby would have been a perfect fit for this.
I was saying Top Flight because they went out there a few weeks ago and they put on good performances and then they beat the Young Bucks, which is a big
Top
win.
Flight would have been cool. Any of these teams, Aussie Open, like give them a showcase match. Orange and Dan, what? Come on, it's a waste. That's it. That's all.
We'll move on to the next one. We got the AEW TNT Championship. We got the champ Samoa Joe going up against War Daddy Wardlow.
Yeah, man, this match, I should be more excited for it because I love both of these guys and it's two beefy boys about to slap meat. And, as I said, I'd like to be the cream inside of their Oreo cookie, but like, I'm just not fucking feeling it, dude. The Wardlow haircut story isn't doing it for me. Joe being I think it's because I need AEW and ROH separation. So Joe holding both of these belts isn't doing it for me.
Exactly.
The match should be good. Like if they let them go out and just bang it out for 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes tonight, it'll be good. Or tomorrow night, it'll be good. And I'm really going to enjoy it. But I'm just, for the two guys and my love for these guys, I'm just not excited. As crazy as that sounds. Wardlow's got to get the win, I think. But with Hobbs lingering, like Hobbs should be in this match. This is where like my beef with the whole situation is. And if you will listen to my show, I like screamed about it the other night. And a circle of debate. And I'll fucking do it again right now, dude. Hobbs should have been in this match to start. Hobbs should have probably been the TNT champion from the original triple threat match that they had. As soon as his big ass went up and got that little Sonic the Hedgehog ring, he should have just inserted himself into this match at the pay-per-view, and he should be the one walking away with this belt. Whether it's Joe or Wardlow, Joe beats Wardlow, and then what? And then what? If Wardlow takes another loss, and where does he go from there? Wardlow beats Joe. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. That's a fine direction. Joe goes away and goes to ROH and helps build that brand. But then what? Hobbs beats Wardlow on Wednesday, and we play hot potato with this belts again? I'm not for that. Like, I don't want that. So we're just in a sticky situation is all it fucking comes down to, which is kind of why I'm not excited about any of it, which sucks because I should be really excited about all three of these meaty men about to fucking bang it out. I guess if I'm going to have to make a prediction, I'm going to go Wardlow, but I'm not sure why at the end of the day.
Yeah, I never really got once they put like I was excited about this, but then when Hobbs won the Face of the Revolution ladder match, I was like, what are they planning on doing? Because I was like, I actually liked the whole promo with his dad and the hair and everything because it established the reason of what was going on with why Wardlow was so mad and what it meant to him, and then why Samoa Joe did it because he knew about that from them being tag partners with Ward Joe, and then he wanted to get under his skin and everything, and why this continued. But at the end of the day, I just don't see Wardlow winning. I think but I don't see how Wardlow's going to win. I think they wasted any momentum of Wardlow because I think at the end of the day, Hobbs is going to win it on Wednesday. That's what I feel like. You have Samoa Joe win this, and then we got a little boy hyped. Okay, go in the other room. Go in the other room. Yeah. So I got Samoa Joe winning it, but then on Wednesday, I have Wardlow costing him the title and helping Hobbs winning. Because I feel like they somehow this match is going to end in like a DQ or something. I feel like, or like he's going to win by a low blow. He's going to use dirty tactics to beat
low blow
Wardlow.
into the choke and pass him out. And then Wardlow costs him on Wednesday. Bakley, you and your booking tonight's pretty fire, bro. I'm not going to say.
And then if you remember this whole thing, they had the triple threat match at All Out. Between Hobbs, Wardlow, and Joe. And the reason I don't think they pulled the trigger on Hobbs then was because that edge with this character. He was just off of being in the group. He was by himself, but it was just missing that something. And then they've added this Book of Hobbs persona to him. They've built him up a little bit over the last couple months, and it gives you a little bit more to either want to love or hate him. He's not just, it's Hobbs. There's a little bit more to his character, and made him more of a reason to put the belt on him with the background that he has. And I feel like Wardlow can cost Joe on Dynamite, and then Hobbs wins, and then Samoa Joe and Wardlow have one final match without a belt, and then Samoa Joe goes off to Ring of Honor. You have Wardlow win that match.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe goes off to Ring of Honor, and then Hobbs is champ, and then either move Wardlow up to the world title picture, or then maybe you get Wardlow versus Hobbs in the future. You have options.
Sign me up, bro. That's
but it's just like you said.
Looking.
I just don't see how Wardlow wins, because if Wardlow wins, what happens? Is it going to be opposite? Are you going to have Samoa Joe cost him the title against Hobbs? I think either way, you've got Hobbs winning it, because we've seen Wardlow win the title, and then lose it the next week already. We've seen that already. So I just feel like Samoa Joe would be the better option to win this and then drop it to Hobbs.
I love it. That makes a ton of sense, especially if you go low blow, choke out, or something along those lines. Yeah. Hobbs is getting the belt Wednesday. Yeah. I couldn't see Wardlow losing, but if you lost in that fashion, it does make sense. And then long-term booking, it makes more sense because like you said, you get the one-on-one with Joe and Wardlow, and then Wardlow can go off and do his thing.
Yes.
Whether it's a Chris Jericho feud without the TNT title, Jeremy, or it's world title picture versus MJF at fucking All Out, even though I think it's going to be Adam Cole. There's options for sure. And Joe goes the fuck away, not away. Just goes and builds ROH, because don't be walking around fucking Claudio and Wheeler and Joe. Go away. Love you guys, but go the fuck away.
I don't get it. I do not get it. I do feel like Claudio is going to lose that title soon, and then I get him being on AEW. You can have him drop the Ring of Honor title and then have him just stay on AEW. I said it from the beginning. I'm okay with these guys now that Ring of Honor starting, kind of doing a little bit of both, because they're already instilled in storylines. But I feel like they're going to be there to help build the beginning of Ring of Honor. They'll drop the titles, but then they'll stay on AEW, because then you'll have stars that are already established, or they were able to be built on Ring of Honor. I think it's just this is the couple months where it's going to be a little bit of like a tweener between both companies.
That makes sense, dude. And
Yeah.
you got guys like Hobbs and Ricky and Jack Perry and Takeshita right there for the TNT championship. Like that division is is loaded if they do it the right way. So do it the right way, TK. Let's book this baby right.
Give me Hobbs versus Jungle Boy. I'd be down for that.
Bro, come on, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Like I want to see stuff like that, and then have Wardlow move on, and then say maybe have him face Kenny Omega or something like a big time match. I think that's something that he needs.
Unlike Jeremy, I think a Wardlow Chris Jericho feud for 6 to 8 weeks is perfect. That's great usage of his time. He gets Jericho's a title. The feud of Jericho is basically a title. That's what Ricky's doing right now. He's wrestling for the Jericho title. That's all.
Yeah, and he feels like I would say he's like a gatekeeper right now to the heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's move on. We got speaking of Kenny Omega, we got the AEW Trios Championship. We got the Elite versus the House of Black. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, bro, I'm going to make this one really, really, really simple. The Elite don't need these Trios championships. The House of Black need these Trios championships. Kenny Omega is a fucking star, a super, super star being tied down in this Trios division. The Young Bucks. Look at the tag team division. You got Orange Cassidy and Danhausen wrestling for your tag team titles, all right? Stop it. Get these guys out of this division. Malachi, Brody, Buddy, they are now back from the island, all right? That they were miscast toys over there. Tony finally brought them back from the island, and they're here. Let's bring them to relevancy, baby. Put the Trios titles on the House of Black. Let Kenny go and do his thing with the IWGP United States Championship. Hopefully Forbidden Door be coming up soon. Let's build some AEW New Japan feuds. Young Bucks. Maybe not for the tag team titles, but get back in the tag team division, all right? Let's build that tag team division back up, and we'll get these tag teams, these lower-end tag teams that are like forced together tag teams, they could be trios. Like there's so many different trios that can go be trios. The trios division is supposed to be for the low mid-carders, okay? That's where you put the teams in the trios. They ain't supposed to be for your main eventers like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And it's sad that the House of Black are even considered like low mid-carders. But at the end of the day, at this point, they've done nothing. Put the belts on them. Make it relevant. I said during this watch along tomorrow, I'll walk out. I'll be alone with my kids. I'll walk out. I'll walk out on the pay-per-view if the House of Black loses. I'll walk out on my kids. I'm going to fucking turn this computer off. I'll walk out on the Bloodline. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not walking out. But I'm going to be fucking pissed. Like, as a wrestling fan, I'm going to be angry. There's no reason the Elite should keep these
I'm just
belts.
waiting for us to be on there. The House of Black loses, and then all of a sudden we see your screen go black.
It might. Yo, at least for 5 minutes, I'm gonna go like take a shot or something. Like, no, there's no reason. There's just no reason for it.
This is gonna be you if they win. At the House of Black loses.
Understand? Please understand. Yes or no? Shut the fuck up! Hey, how you say in Japanese? Shut the fuck up. I don't know. Maybe just shut the fuck up better. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm going with the House of Black here. I think it's a no-brainer. They need to win here. I think they put the belts on the Elite just to carry the titles for a while. I think the main thing was to help get the ring rust off of Kenny Omega, and we saw that. We saw that was finally off. That they came back a couple months after he had the match with the Will Ospreay. He looked insane. We talked about it last night. He looked like he was back to being Kenny Omega. He had that promo with Will Ospreay, and I was like, Kenny's back. Then he comes back here, and then I think he's held back by the Trios titles, held back by being in that trio with the Young Bucks. And I feel like the Young Bucks also held back from Kenny Omega because they're a tag team. And I feel like you got to take these belts off of them, have the Young Bucks go back to the tag team division, and then you have Kenny Omega actually defend that U.S. title in New Japan and then be a single star again. I think you have to do it. And you need Malachi Black, who needs to have that shining moment. He had that big debut appearing against Cody, and then he really hasn't done anything since. We thought he was going to leave. He came back. They formed the House of Black, and now they're finally using them to their potential. If you're going to use them as a trio, not as a singles, as like a singles competitor in Black, and then a tag team with Brody King and Buddy Matthews, then put the trios titles on them. Let them be dominant. Let them defend them each and every week. Hold the belts for at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 months. Establish themselves so that when you do take the titles off of them, then you can do what we want, which is Malachi as a main eventer or TNT competitor, and then the other two as a tag team. Because then after that, not only have you established a team with the trios titles that people wanted, but then that's another tag team, that's another singles competitor in the future, along with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. It just makes sense.
Yeah, everything that you just said makes sense. It makes sense from getting the elite to where they are. Kenny Omega, all right, is supposed to be the top tier wrestler in the world for that company. He's supposed to be their top guy. He's never felt like their top guy outside of when he was their top guy. He still barely felt like the top guy because Moxley was running around that company. You got Kenny Omega needs to have a run right now as a single star. And you got MJF, all right? And I'm not saying that Kenny and MJF should go at it right now. Yeah. But there's never been an interaction between prick MJF and this babyface Kenny Omega, all right? Yeah. That's something I think that probably should happen. And we definitely need to get Kenny versus Adam Cole in some capacity. So Kenny needs to go and do this thing. Kenny versus MJF, like as weird of a matchup as that sounds, that's like their golden ticket, I would think, in a main event. You got your biggest babyface against your biggest potential babyface against by far and away your biggest heel. The promos that would come out of that would be ridiculous. I'd love to see MJF just rip Kenny down. And then the same thing, like you just said with House of Black. Malachi should be a main eventer. But whatever, I'll settle for him in TNT championship feuds against Jack Perry and Ricky Starks and Hobbs. Sign me up for Keith Lee. Sign me up for matches like that. I'm fine with it. Just means he's doing something.
I'd watch Ricky Starks versus Malachi Black any day.
Let's go. That's what I'm saying. And then yes, Brody and Buddy. I mean, yes, you could put them in the singles division, but that's a tag team. The big guy, he ain't so small. He's wide as hell.
Yeah, we've even seen Malachi Black and Brody King and PWG as a tag team. You can even do that if like I'm okay with that, and then seeing Buddy Matthews as a single star and see him get the fame that he deserves, because that guy's a worker. We've seen it in WWE, and we're seeing it now. I always remember his match on SmackDown with Roman Reigns, how they had that great match, that's what kind of got him started, was that match. And when Roman Reigns said, "This guy's good," but then they kind of killed the momentum with that, and then it came over here. I'm like, I'd be okay with that as long as they do something with them, as long as they showcase them the way that they should be. That they're not jobbers. They're a great group right there. They got, of course, Julia Hart with them. I want to see her wrestle a little bit more in the future, not just on Dark or Elevation. I'll be okay if she wrestled on Ring of Honor, to be honest. As long as she wrestled, because she has that little bit of that evil side to her that, without even saying anything, it's just the look that she gives people when she's standing there right behind them. But it's like you gotta push that. You gotta push them being dominant. That dark side, how they find ways to win, and it's like, how do you beat them? Where do we go? And then when you finally take the belts off of them, you got to find the right trio to do so. And then when they actually do it, it's gonna mean something. I just felt like it was the perfect time to get the belts to Elite. They needed it. They were a base. Boom, couple months. Gave the time for the House of Black to reestablish themselves with these matches that they've had. And now it's game. Now you transition to the House of Black.
Love it, brother.
We got Dom. I love the TK. Wouldn't be mad at MJF versus Adam Cole either. Did you see them popping off on each other on Twitter? Oh, yeah,
that was awesome. Really funny interaction. And yeah, I think that's what you just said, Dom. and we've talked about that. That's your all-out main event. It's
Yes.
MJF versus Adam Cole. He's going to be MJF Hangman, Double or Nothing. MJF Adam Cole at All Out. Like, I would bet some money on that.
I even said when Devin last night was talking about him and Habib was talking about who would be the face to go up against, like, to get people watching. I'm like, Adam Cole. The fans love Adam Cole. Even as a heel, he's rooted for, and they cheer him on. And now he's a face. The perfect timing. You got him coming back on March 29th. That the AEW Access is starting on the 29th, and he said that that's when he's going to wrestle his first match, and he's going to be featured on it. So not only are you getting him the debut, but you're going to see him on that show. You're going to get casuals to watch and be like, I see this guy, and I just saw him wrestle. And they're going to just gradually want to root for him as a face. And then you build him up to be that competitor that will go up against MJF. It just makes sense because you don't know what's going on with Kenny Omega right now. You want Kenny Omega to be that guy in AEW because of what he did in New Japan. It's just not there yet. So you can make it Adam Cole. And maybe when Adam Cole wins the title at some point, you have him turn heel, and then you get an Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega face.
I'll always say this because, you know, I'm a Chicago asshole.
Yeah.
But Adam Cole debuted 2 years ago. You know, it'll be 2 years. And, you know, when All Out comes this year, 2 years prior at All Out, have him win the fucking belt against MJF. And then, you know, have CM Punk come back and confront him after it. Or MJF keeps the belt and CM Punk comes back. But I'm still sold that CM Punk's coming back that night. But, you know, I digress.
And then we'll get into it with MJF because I have my reasons with MJF moving forward with the main event. But let's go on to the next match. We talked about these two just a few seconds ago. We got Chris Jericho going up against Ricky Starks in a match where no JAS are allowed at ringside. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, dude. Ricky has to win. This feud has to end. I think the match is going to be really good. Jericho still performs well for as much as people hate on him. The match should be good. The story is not, though. I just don't like the story. And that is solely because of one man. His name is Action Andretti. He ruined this fucking story for me. I've been saying it over and over and over again. If you listen to me, I repeated it 100 times. Action Andretti ruined this story for me. You got Ricky beating Jericho, and then this dude comes in and beats Jericho. Like, it takes the luster away from Ricky's win over Jericho. It's so stupid. The whole thing has been dumb. It's been watered down. Now, I guess if this fucking little jizz Action Andretti comes out and costs Ricky this match in some capacity, maybe it's okay for the story, and that's why he got involved. Do I think it's stupid as fuck? So yeah, because you got Sammy and you got Danny, and that's the level that they're on over there. So why would you add Action Andretti to that and then put him on the same level? Like, the whole thing's unnecessary. It's unneeded. I need it to end. That's what I need. You know what I need? I need it to end. Ricky win. Please win. Please let it be over. And then Jericho, you know, go away for a little bit. And then I do want that Jericho War Daddy thing. Jeremy said it. All right. And Justin was like, no, because you mentioned it for the TNT title. But I think Jericho and Wardlow would be a very nice filler feud for Wardlow and help him get to that next level. So Ricky gets this win.
I think it was something to say that when they originally booked this match, it was everybody was banned from ringside, and now it's just only JAS is banned from ringside. So it makes me wonder if somebody like you said, Action and Andretti are going to come down to the ringside. I think he's going to help Ricky Starks, but then he winds up helping Chris Jericho. And then you could get something between Ricky Starks and Action Andretti, even though I don't want it. But
no, I know you don't. I know. We want Ricky going this way, not you go from.
We don't want this.
Yeah, right. You go from a feud with Chris Jericho to a feud with Action Andretti.
No, I still think Ricky Starks is going to win this. I think that's why they prolonged it. I think you want to get him over because Jericho's fine putting people over. There's people that say, oh, he always wins. When he wins, it's for a reason. And sometimes I don't agree with it, but A lot of times I do. And I think he's going to put him over because Chris Jericho, even in a loss, will find a way to do something at that mid, in between that TNT and the heavyweight title picture. He'll be in between it. I feel like he's come close to retiring soon. I think that's why we see him more and more on Rampage on commentary. He's getting his feet wet with that. And then when he retires, that's what he's going to be focused on is just that and Fozzy. But I think you want to build up that star, Ricky Starks, because we don't have that many baby faces, like I said. That's why I want Adam Cole. I think they're pulling the trigger on him being a baby face. You kind of need that other baby face too. And I think Ricky Starks as the other baby face alongside Adam Cole would be perfect because of just he has the charisma on the mic. He wrestles great. I loved everything that he did in NWA. He came over here. He was a heel already with Team Taz, and now he's transitioned, and it's perfectly good for his character, and he's done a great job. And the fans like him. He needs this win more than Chris Jericho does.
Yeah, 110%, brother. I'm with you.
Yep. We got a comment before we get to the women. He said, what happened to Kyle O'Reilly? He had surgery. He is still out right now. They don't know when he's going to come back. I follow him a little bit because he has a MMA gym and a jiu-jitsu gym, and I don't think he's going to be back for a while. They have no idea his status because it could be a career-ending injury, they're saying, which would suck. But yeah,
no way, damn.
Yeah, we got the next match. We got is the AEW Women's Championship. We got Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and Ruby Soho. About time they get Ruby Soho in a title match. I've been saying this since they had that tournament, the Owen Hart tournament. Mm-hmm. I thought she should have went over on Britt Baker and not have Britt Baker win because that would have gave her a little bit of status up there. But at least like a year later, she's finally getting that push. But what are you thinking about this match, and who do you think is going to come out?
Yeah, I think the match is going to be a lot of fun. My original thoughts were that Ruby was in the match to eat the pin, and Jamie was going to get the win. Yeah. But the boys from the In Time Wrestling podcast have swayed me, not swayed me, like I am like lock solid on this. Saraya is going to be walking away as your new AEW's Women World Champion, and I don't think they think Ruby Soho is going to help her win. I don't think that's going to happen. That's silly. Ruby's in this match because she wants to win the fucking championship. She got fucked by Britt over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, which is why she will eventually join the outsider side of things. But in this match, Ruby will go to get the win, I think, on Jamie, and she'll hit her with her finisher. Saraya will throw Ruby out of the ring, hit her with her hit Jamie with another finisher, and then get the win, or just do the quick 1, 2, 3 and get the 1, 2, 3 on Jamie. Saraya is walking out with this AEW Women's Championship, and she's going to help not like elevate the division, but it's going to help elevate this storyline for her and Tony because on her side of things, it's really low. I've seen a lot of people say that Saraya is the worst women's signing of AEW history, one of the worst signings in AEW history. Like, I wouldn't go that far by any means. Give her time. She just came back. But you put the belts on her. Now we are on our way to the 5-on-5, which I think you're going to build all the way out to Double or Nothing. I originally thought we'd get her on a special Dynamite, but I think story-wise we have time.
Don't say that because then instead of getting that getting the Witchguard match, we're gonna get the Stadium Stampede.
Yeah, that's what I think we're gonna get. Yeah, I think we're gonna end up either it'll be a Blood and Guts or a Stadium Stampede, and we're gonna get the 5-on-5 at Double or Nothing is where I think is gonna go down. Because there's still a lot of story that you have to tell with these women. Yeah. You still have a lot of, which side is Ruby on? We're still not going to get. I don't think we're going to get any progress after this pay-per-view. Where's Sheeta? Riho seems to be involved now. Willow Nightingale's been involved. You got someone like Athena. Where's Jade Cargill? Could Thunder Rosa come back? There are so many different women involved in this, and I'm excited for it going forward. I really am. I think this women's division is in top-notch shape if TK does it right, which is the problem. But I think Saraya gets the win.
And I know we still have Layla Hirsch. She's come back any week now from that major injury from last year on her leg. And then we got the Alien coming back soon. So we got a couple more women coming back. They'll help boost both the TBS and the TBS and the women's title pictures for that. You want to have as many women as possible to create more storylines. But I feel like I like Saraya. She's added that edge. She's added that heel side of things where they're like, I know they're kind of recycling the whole outsiders gimmick of we're going to do what we want. We're going to go against the AEW originals, because if you look at the picture, that's basically what they did in WCW. Yeah, NWO versus the originals for WCW, and then they feuded. But it works right now. Like, you didn't expect Saraya and Toni Storm to turn heel. You expected them to be the baby faces, and then Britt and Jamie to be the heels, and they kind of did a double swerve on us and turned everything. And I know Shida is in Japan right now at the promotion that she's a champion in. I forget which promotion it is. So I know she's there right now. I think the whole thing was just a weird way to rattle off for a little while until after the Revolution, and she'll probably come back shortly. Yeah. But I just like the whole thing with the double turn. I like how Ruby Soho, they kind of pushed her. They're like, pick sides. And she's like, no, I'm not picking sides. I don't really like you, but you know what? I don't like what you're doing either. I'm not picking sides. I'm going for that belt. And then they had her go on this run. She beat Toni Storm. She beat Britt Baker. They gave her a reason to be in the match. And I think it's perfectly good what you said. You have her do the finish. She's about to pin Jamie Hayter. Saraya comes in, throws her out, and then gets the pin herself. And then she's the champion. They still make Ruby Soho look strong in the match, but you put the belt on the heel, and then you can grow from there. And there's a lot more to be added with that. Like, you still got Thunder Rosa coming back. I feel like she could be on either side. Like, they could even put her with the originals if they wanted to, because she doesn't really like Britt Baker. And
yeah, she should be with the outsiders. Yep, that's exactly what I do. Rosa goes with the outsiders. The way I see it is you have your big three on each side. You had Britt, Jamie, and Shida, and then you got Saraya, Tony, and Ruby, because I'm pretty sold that Ruby's going to be over on this side.
And like Justin said, you want massive heat, you put the title on her and have Ruby make her decision as well. I think she'll wait for the decision.
Yeah.
They want to carry that out a little bit, but you'll definitely put the title on Saraya. As much as I want Ruby to get this title, I don't think it's yet. I do think she's going to win it, just not now. I think this sets her up to be in that main event picture in the women's division for a while. I think she'll be up there. Maybe she gets a one-on-one shot against Saraya at Double or Nothing. Maybe not, but
you also have to remember too, Jade Cargill's out there. So what if Jade Cargill? I know we're all set on Chris Statlander being the one to dethrone Jade, but what if Jade gets on the OG team? All right, Ruby again is on the outsider team. What if Ruby fucking is the one to dethrone Jade? Like, you get shenanigans finally. Saraya or Tony help Ruby get the win. Bam. Saraya's your women's champion. Ruby is your TBS women's champion. There you go. Your outsiders have all the gold.
And you got people like, Jamie Hayter just got the title. She deserved it. There's nothing wrong with her losing it to Saraya if it helps the division. She's held it for the past 5 months, almost 6 months. That's a pretty long time for somebody who had just built up, and we didn't expect her to actually win it. And I was predicting her to win it before Full Gear, and I didn't actually think she was going to actually win it. I just wanted her to win it because the storyline told you that she needed to win it. And just like with this storyline, it tells you that it would be smart to have Saraya take the title off of her. And then you can
I was shocked, man. I thought for sure Thunder or Tony was going to get the win, and we were going to see fucking Thunderstorm have the fight over the championship, which would have sucked.
Yeah. It just makes sense for this one, and you want to build up that. What are they? The freelancers, right?
Yeah, and then think about this, and then even down the road after the 5-on-5, Saraya's your women's champion. You got Britt and you got Jamie. Who I want to go after her. I want to go after her. No, I want to go after her. Boom. That's finally when your friction between DMD and Jamie starts. and then DMD turns on Jamie. DMD goes back to her heel role, which she fucking belongs in. You had a feud there between those two. Then Saraya could be defending the world title against maybe a Jade who lost her title. Or you got Thunder Rosa coming back. She could defend her belt against. You got a Chris Statlander coming in who potentially she could defend the belts against. Even if it's Ruby one-on-one. There's so many different options within that women's division. So, man, if he does it right, like, listen to us, all right? If he does it right, like we're talking right now, sky's the limit for this division, and I'm excited for it.
And I know this won't be for a while, but we also have to throw in Mercedes Moné's name into it down the line in the future.
Yeah,
because she could finish off with New Japan and everything with Stardom, and then maybe want to come to AEW for a little while to do work with this women's division, because that would add like another wrinkle. Because then you could potentially have Saraya against Mercedes.
Right.
Yeah.
True that, my brother. True that. I'm excited, bro.
Yeah.
Because everyone hates on this division, dude. Like, this match is one of the ones I'm most. Remember, like in the pre-show fist fight, I was like, as weird as this sounds, I'm not like too thrilled about the show.
I don't know why. I don't hate the women's division. I just want to see more women's matches on Dynamite, which I get why, because they only have 2 hours. But then when you look at it like a show like Impact, they just had No Surrender, and they had 3 women's matches on that card. On Impact
NXT be getting 3 or 4 women's matches in a 2-hour show every week. So there's no. Yeah. I still think, and you can say what you want to say, dirt sheets, fucking whatever. It is what it is, and we have no proof of this. But I think Tony Khan listens to everything that we say as fans. So say what you will, all right? I think if he had the ability to put 2 women's matches on, he would.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah, and he at least does one on Dynamite and one on Rampage, which is only an hour. So I at least am happy that he does that. I'm hoping that it's more in the future. I think he will when he gets a little bit more women to that division. But I like what I see what they're going with this whole big storyline. I think this storyline is going to be big for the division.
Pumped.
Let's move on to the next one. We're almost to the main event. We got Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. This is the one that we're just like, okay, let's get done. It says no holds bar, but it's the final burial match because we can't wait for this storyline to be over. What are your quick thoughts on this?
You mentioned his father again. I wanted to go through my screen and fucking choke him. I'm so sick of it. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not acknowledging him. Fuck him. He can fuck off. Jack gets the win. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of his stupid fucking promos. He needs to go away or get a new shtick. Go away or get a new shtick, dude. Jack wins. Yeah. Jack deserves better.
They really didn't need to revisit this. I know why they wanted to kind of close it, because they didn't really have that closure because Christian got hurt. So they're like, oh, let's go do this anyway. They didn't have to, but I see why. And Jungle Boy didn't really have a storyline for the pay-per-view to begin with. So they're just like, oh, let's recycle this for a couple weeks, close it out so we can kind of use that to push Jungle Boy forward. I think Jungle Boy gets the win. He shows that edge. He can chair toast Christian at the pay-per-view. Yes. He finds the urge to do it this time because he's been kind of, ever since the summer, he's been kind of reluctant to do that. To bring that killer instinct to his character to fruition. I think he finally does this. He's finally gets rid of his Christian Cage problem. Christian Cage can do whatever he wants now. He can just do commentary for I care. But the main thing, Jungle Boy has to go over. I need him to have that reason to go after the TNT title or even the World title. I don't care which one, as long as he does one of them. But just be quick, Jungle Boy gets the victory. We got Tino's time. What's up, guys? What's going on, Tino? This guy, he is full-time. He is the man. This guy goes every night, watch-alongs for AEW, for, of course, WWE. He does Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, pay-per-views, you name it. He's on his channel doing watch-alongs. Check him out on YouTube. He's a good watch. He's into it. Like, I wish I had the energy that he has to go on all the time. But love you, man. Thanks for tuning in. We got Dom. At this point, I really don't care about this angle match. We'll all win when it's finally over. I agree with that one. That's why I put it. That's why I think it's going to get slotted right into here in between these matches because it's going to be that quick, boom, boom, 5 minutes, smoke break, drink break, or whatever it is, you know it. And then you got World Champion, what's up, family? So much sexy on my screen. Don't make me blush. I know I got the red hair, but I don't need the red cheeks right now. Thanks for tuning in. But let's get right into the main event. You know, the big match. We got the AEW World Championship, MJF versus Bryan Danielson. We got the 60-minute Iron Man match. I'll let you get started with this.
Yeah, man, this feud started off very, very slow for me. I didn't give a shit about any of the William Regal stuff. I just didn't care. And MJF's promos sucked, and they were long-winded. They were fucking boring. The 5 matches the trials of MJF, the 5 matches he put Bryan through were ridiculous. Were they great? Absolutely. Cage, Takeshita, Bandito, Roosh, and Timothy Thatcher. I mean, they were fucking really good matches. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm sick of MJF and the trials and tribulations of MJF. I hope we never get that again. With that being said, over the last 3 weeks, the feud has been awesome. Christopher Daniels stuff was absolutely great. The promo 2 weeks ago when he was talking about how his fiance left him, I loved it. And then this promo, Bryan talking about, yeah, I understand why your fiance left you. You talking about banging racks and fucking rats? I wouldn't want my daughter to be with you either. MJF started going to the ring, and Bryan says, come, I'm going to kick your fucking face in. Last week, he talked about his kids. This week, he called him a fucking bitch and said he was going to kick his fucking head in. It's personal now. And I believe that Bryan wants that belt. And I believe that Bryan wants to kick this bitch's fucking head in. And I want to see him kick mid-JF's head in. Will it happen? For like 59 minutes and 30 seconds. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is MJF gets the W for sure. No way in hell Bryan gets the win. It sucks. I'd love if Bryan got the win. I thought Bryan should have been the transitional champion to MJF just so he could be the world champion. But I think that Bryan is like second run Shawn Michaels, where he might get one quick title run and not a sustained one, but he's just going to be a worker in this company and just put people over, which is perfectly fine. Bryan MJF, this match is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. It might be the best Iron Man match ever. It might be the second best Iron Man match ever behind Bret and Shawn. I'm excited for this one.
Just like you said, as soon as MJF got personal, I got fully invested. Let's effing go. I think once he did that, everybody got tuned in. Everybody was like, okay, we know that they did the trials thing, but here they go. They're actually taking this personal. They're actually making it real life, making it real. Feel like they're actually hating each other. Actually, they're dipping in their real life into this match. And it's like it makes you think.
And basically, the reason is, and I usually hate when that's why I started calling him mid JF because it's the same bullshit. Your kids, your dead daddy, this, that, fucking the other thing. When he started talking about Bryan's kids, I was like, God damn it! You took a good segment and you're about to ruin it. But it didn't. The way he said it, like. The way he articulated that promo was this. It was, Bryan, you're a fucking dumb idiot, all right? You've got this beautiful wife and these beautiful kids at home, and all you care about is this fucking industry where you're getting dropped on your fucking head left and right, and you're basically going to be in a comatose. You're pre-CTE, motherfucker. What are you doing? You're stupid, is what MJF is saying. And I'm like, damn, Max, you're kind of right.
And then he goes, I need this title because I don't have anything left now. My fiance left me. We're done. This is all I have. So I had to put everything into this title. And it makes you go like, I hate you so much, but I get you at the same time. It's like, like I just want to punch you, but then give you the pin so you can hold on to that, because if you take that away, it's like, is it going to go away? Because then he has nothing left to live for. It's that kind of a reaction. You're like, damn, he just did that to us. And then recently I saw, like, I was leaning towards Bryan Danielson at first, because I'm like, at first I was like, no way MJF loses. But then I was like, I see the matches. I see Bryan Danielson get into the groove. I see him getting the crowd behind him. I'm like, there's a chance that he might win this. But then I saw him do like a Q&A, and he mentioned that it was kind of weird. It was like they were asking him about the G1, and he's like, I want to do the G1, but I don't think Tony would let me do it if I was world champion. I'd get why, because I would have responsibilities. But if I wasn't champion, I could probably get over. And then he talked about how he wanted him, Moxley, and Eddie Kingston to go over there. And then I think Claudio, he wanted the four of them to go over there to do the G1 because it would be this craziness, and he's always wanted to do it. And then apparently it was made a point that somebody said that apparently when he was in WWE, one of their selling points of keeping him was that Vince said he would let him do the G1 even with WWE. And then they asked Brian, and Brian confirmed it. So it was like, it wasn't like a dirt sheet, like a rumor. Brian Danielson actually confirmed that and said, yeah, he did say it, but I wanted to go on my own and to have a little bit more freedom. So part of me feels like MJF is going to win, and then maybe we get Brian Danielson to go off in the summer to do that. And one of my ways of feeling it, like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but we had a little bit of spoiler on Ring of Honor with Zack Sabre Jr. We'll just say that. I would just say that per se. And it gives me hopes that that could be the branch for Brian Danielson into going over to Japan for the G1. Because I feel like, just like you said, he's a second-rate Shawn Michaels. He's going to put on a banger of a match no matter who he wrestles. I feel like he doesn't need the belt because it's Brian Danielson. He's one of the best.
Felt about Shawn, but Shawn deserves better.
He does. I feel like Brian Danielson deserves better. I feel like he deserves a title reign, but it's just a matter of MJF finally just got the title, and we want him to get it and keep it for a while. Now, if they feel like he needs to go away for a while because of everything going on in his personal life, and then he just got jacked up all of a sudden in the past couple of months, maybe he goes away and then he puts over Brian Danielson. I don't see it happening now. I think he wins. I like what King of Cleveland says. I think it goes 0-0, 60th minute. He goes to the leave and goes to be like, oh, we're tied. I got the title. I'm leaving. And then Tony Khan comes out and it's like, oh, we need a winner. I'm not pulling out this BS. This is AEW. We want a winner. We're not pulling that shit over like they do over there with ties. We're going into sudden death. And then they do that. And then, of course, Will Gray just pulled out what I was just going to mention. He said, what about a Jay White debut? What makes you think maybe Jay White debuts and costs Brian Danielson the title? How would you feel about that?
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I was like, Jay White's not anywhere near the AEW World Championship. I mean, like, not because he's not talented.
No.
But, like, come on, there's 100 people, like 6 people probably in line before Jay White. You know what I mean? But costing Brian would be interesting. I think Max needs to get this win. Like, Max, unless, like, Max hires Jay White, which is kind of a WWE thing to do, so I couldn't see AEW doing that. Max needs to win, dude. Like, Max just needs to figure it out and get the win. Whether if he cheats, he cheats. It is what it is. But if it's the ring or a low blow or whatever, but Max needs to get the win, dude. Or I think Justin said on the show, or Jeremy, you know, Brian's up 2-0 or whatever, and MJF just takes out a chair, just beats the fuck out of him over and over again, takes a DQ loss, right? And then just pins him, and then just breaks his arm and like passes him out, and does it again, and then does it again, and then all of a sudden MJF's up and Brian's trailing. I don't know. I don't know about Jay White. I don't think he has a place. I don't know. I don't think Jay White should go to AEW. Jay White's a WWE guy. I think he should go to WWE.
I got my thoughts and opinions on that for a later time. I think there's several places that he could go to. I think he could go to AEW. I think he could go to Ring of Honor or WWE. There's chances for everything. But if he were to go to AEW, I feel like this would be the perfect time to do so. With it being a pay-per-view, we always get some sort of debut, even though we haven't had one in a while, I feel like. So we're kind of due for one with how AEW is. And to have it be a way to cost Brian Danielson the match and to have MJF win by dirty tactics. It doesn't even have to be because of him paying off. It could just be a way for Jay White to get that debut somehow. There's so many ways they could do it, but I think we're in the same thing where we both agree MJF wins that title somehow.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's keeping to that belt for sure.
I just got one word for tonight. Banger. Definitely so. I think Jay White would go to WWE. Just imagine Seth versus Jay White or Cody versus Jay White. Ooh, I think there's so many things. It's all because of how good of a wrestler and how big of a star that he is, especially in just being from New Japan. I just want to see him wherever he goes. I think he needs to stay the same. I don't want him to be changed. Just like Cody went to WWE and they kept him the same. They kept his ring attire, kept the Homelander look, kept the music, kept the tattoo, of course, because he can't get rid of it. Yeah, just the whole thing. They kept him the same. Jay White needs to be done the same way, I feel like. Even though he's technically not in New Japan, he could still be part of the Bullet Club. And just like he said, wherever people go, the Bullet Club's always going to be there. We're going to be everywhere. And they can do that. But I think other than that, you got any last words before we get going? I know we want to get some time between before we get ready for tonight's big preview.
No, bro. Just on the show itself. No, man. I am looking forward to the show. Over under 5 hours. I think I'm going to probably take the over. I don't know. Probably like 4.5 hours. I don't know how he's going to squeeze 8 matches in an Iron Man match in 4 hours. So I got to see 4.5 hours, most likely, maybe 5 hours. But I'm definitely looking forward to the show, bro, and the women's match in particular, and seeing the storylines that come out of that, and the trios title match. Though that's what I'm most looking forward to. And hey, you can hear all about that on the Tim King Show on all major audio platforms and on YouTube by searching The Tim King Show. And if you want to find The Tim King Show, all social media, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, check out The Tim King Show. But it ain't about that, man. It's about the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Throw your motherfucking ones up. We're here. We are finally here. Tonight is the night. YouTube, the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Get at it. We're going to be streaming that all over the place tonight. So, Tim King Show, Park Street Wrestling, Circle of Debate, Universal Wrestling Podcast, Top Rope Wrestling Talk. Get at us. We're all over the place. But the most important place to get at us is the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Social medias, the Bloodline, ENT. So, check that shit out for sure. We're going to be live tonight. Like I said, we're going to be launching the website. We'll be talking about the network. We'll be talking some more AEW Revolution. We're going to be putting our fists up for a little return of the Johnny Bones Jones, the GOAT. Hey, got a lot going on tonight, and I'm excited. We're going to have some guests along the way as well. So get at us tonight on the Bloodline Entertainment Network right here on YouTube. And tomorrow night as well, we will be doing our AEW Watch Along, same place, everywhere I just touted. Bloodline Entertainment Network right here on YouTube. AEW Watch Along, get at us. We're going to be having a blast. 5, 7, 8. No, I don't know how many of us. We're going to have a really, really good time tomorrow night. I can't wait. Drinks are going to be flying. Matches are going to be flying. Cannot wait. Get at us tonight. Get at us tomorrow night. Bakley, love you. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Yep. And you can find all the info on the Tim King Show in the info section down below of this video. I'll have it there so you can search him, subscribe to his channels, subscribe to the YouTube so you can follow him every single week. He does everything. He does wrestling. He does sports. We got Roto Snappers. You guys do a great job with that show. I watch it every week. I like the top 10 list. I love you getting ready for baseball, and then I love the whole draft thing that you did for the NFL. I love all that. You guys are killing it there at the Tim King Show. You and Streets and Blake. I like everything that you guys do there. Keep it going. But other than that, you can find us tonight, like you said, on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. But that wraps things up with today's picks and predictions for AEW Revolution 2023. I will be back next week. I'll likely go live next week to do the UFC Fight Night 71 next week, which is headlined by Peter Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. Can't even say the name. It's hard to say the name, but that will be next week.
Is that the guy who drinks out of his shoe?
No, that's Tai Tuivasa. You're thinking Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, shit, yeah, those names sound the same.
Yeah, you're thinking of him. And then, of course, be on the lookout for my WrestleMania preview show with Lou Betcha. But I am Cage. This is Tim. And we will see you guys tonight. Put the ones up. Talk to you guys later.